Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Vice President. You're all really welcome to the Safer Internet Forum 2025. This seems to have been a year where online safety, digital parenting, all of those things have been very much top of the agenda. And we're really delighted that you can all join us here for what is going to be a very packed, a very busy day where we're going to consider many of these kind of most pressing issues, really. We've got around 200 people here on site in Brussels. We've got over 600 who are joining us online from 65 different countries around the world, which I think shows the importance of this in a kind of global sense. Really importantly, we've got a lot of young people here with us today, and hopefully you can spot them in the room. We have 33 youth panelists, we have 6 members of our youth advisory group, and you're going to hear a lot more from them as the day goes on. So my job, you'll be pleased to hear, is very short. I'm just going to give you a few logistical and housekeeping bits of information. First of all, we're being joined again this year by a graphic illustrator who is working there at the back of the room. And she's going to be kind of capturing the key points that are raised and discussed throughout the day, and we'll be sure to let you see some of those on screen as they develop. If you've read the mailings that we've sent you in recent days, you'll know that there's also a competition to decide on the best Safer Internet Centre resource of the year. Now, the voting is already open for that, and we'll be sharing a QR code on the screen and online throughout the day that will let you look at the resources and then decide which one you think is the best resource, and you can vote for that as well. And we'll announce the results of the competition at the end of the day. Finally, for those of you who are here on site, we have a photo booth that you may have walked past. It's for use during the breaks, at lunchtime. It's up near the registration desk, and you can capture some kind of fun photos of the day and share those. We really want you to be involved throughout the day. There's going to be a lot of opportunities where you can ask questions in the room, also online. You can put questions into the chat. But this afternoon, there'll be a chance for some really small group discussions, and we want to hear from you. The issues we're going to talk about today are important for everybody, so please feel that you can get involved. If you need anything throughout the day, please look for somebody who has an orange lanyard on. They will be able to help. And the staff team, will try and do everything to make sure that the day goes smoothly. So now I'm delighted to be able to give the floor to Tuuli Maria Mattila, who is the head of unit for accessibility, multilingualism, and very importantly, safer internet at DG Connect in the European Commission. And she'll formally welcome everybody and start the forum. So Tuuli, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carl. Thank you. And good morning to everybody. And on behalf of the European Commission, a very warm welcome to the Safer Internet Forum 2025. I want to welcome everybody who is in the room, but also all of those who are joining us online today. We are all very excited to be here today with you, focusing on why age matters. Throughout the day, we will be discussing how to ensure age-appropriate online experiences for young people. We will be talking about social media, supporting parents to protect and empower their children online, potential age restrictions, and video gaming. And as is usual for this forum, the different sessions will bring together a rich variety of stakeholders. And as Carl said, we really hope that you will be engaging in the discussion and get the best experience out of this forum. And of course, as is also usual for this forum, it is going to be, as you have seen in the room already, youth-centric and led by young people. So without further ado, having mentioned the young people, I would like to introduce the young people for the opening dialogue, Marta, Gabriele, and Erik from the CIF advisory group on stage. The advisory group plays a vital role in shaping the annual forum and ensures that the young people are in the driving seat. And with this, it is time to begin our first session. It is my pleasure to call on stage Executive Vice President of the European Commission, Henna Virkkunen, for our high-level opening. Let's give them a warm welcome.
Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our high-level opening and dialogue session. It is truly a pleasure to be here with you guys today. This session is designed as a conversation, more than a traditional speech panel. So we'll be aiming to have an open, honest, insightful conversation and dialogue that brings out youth perspectives directly to European decision makers here today represented by Madam Executive Vice President. Throughout this dialogue, we'll have members of the Youth Advisory Group, both asking but also hopefully answering questions from the Madam Vice President, starting with the theme of online safety. So to begin, Madam Vice President, I would like to know what can the EU do to help us feel more safe and secure when using online environments?
Let's see if this is working. Yes, it is. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for having me in this panel. For us, it's very important to make sure that when kids are using online services, that very high level of privacy and safety and security should be ensured for the users. And this is also stated in our Digital Service Act. So we have a legislation that says very clearly that online service providers, they have to make sure that when minors are using these services, they have high level of privacy, safety and security. But we know that this is not the case often now, and we are very worried about these developments that many online services, they have become more and more addictive. So many kids are using hours online, and also the content what is shown for the kids, it's not always age appropriate. And also more and more crime is taking place online. We know that often also people who don't know you, they can be in contact to you via online platforms, and also cyberbullying is a big problem in many societies. So we see also many problems now online, and that's why in summer we published also guidelines on protection of minors, and these guidelines are for the online platforms, and there we are very clearly telling for them that what kind of practices we are expecting from online platforms, that how they make sure that the kids and minors, they have safety and privacy online. Of course, it's also important, I think, and during the last weeks there has been a lot of discussion also that what is the right age also to enter to different services. And most of the most popular online services, social media services, they have 13 years age limit, but they are not really controlling it. So now when we are investigating these online platforms, we are especially focusing to that how they are checking the age of the user, because we have a lot of information, and very small kids, they have already their social media accounts. And of course, it's not often appropriate for their age to use social media. So we have legislation, and now we are enforcing it, and we have just prepared guidelines for the online platforms. And also together with these guidelines, we also published age verification tool. So a tool how you could also prove your age for the online platform without giving your personal data.
Yeah, so you would say this is a very big priority for the EU's agenda.
It is, because I see that online world is very important part of our everyday life, and we have to also remember that it's part of children's rights also, that children has also, you have the right, of course, to access to information, to learn, to be in contact with your friends, and online environment, it's something that is a very important part of our everyday life. But all the time we have to make sure that we can also ensure the safety and also empower the users in online world.
So speaking about child safety and all those new acts, so there's a lot of new regulations and can sometimes be difficult to keep up with them. So because of this, should we focus on improving and implementing these existing laws like the Digital Services Act or the AI Act? And if so, how do we know when a new law is actually needed?
Of course, these rules, they are very much something that the online services and the companies, they have to comply with these rules. So the users should have always, of course, that kind of experience when we as users are using the services, that it's safe and we can trust to those services. And this is why we have those rules in the place in the European Union, because we want to make sure that online environment, it's safe and fair and democratic. So very much the same rules what we have in our everyday life, in our societies, in offline world, the same rules we have also online. So it means, for example, what is illegal in our society, it's also illegal in internet. So this is a main priority for us. And in the same time, I think it's also very important, of course, all the time to invest into education and digital skills. And it's very important, of course, for the kids to have digital skills, but also for the parents. I think it's important to have also digital skills. So when more and more activities is happening online, it's important that we have good education and literacy and good digital skills also, that we can also operate online.
Yeah, so before we skip themes, I just wanted to ask, I was wondering, you were talking about the parents' involvement and caregivers, and I wanted just to know, what do you feel could be their role when it comes to protecting minors online? Should they have a more present role in what it comes to educating their children on how to be safe online?
I think it's also very important that the parents have a role, but we know that often the parents, they don't have maybe so good digital skills, and they don't know really that what is happening also in online world. So it's much more difficult nowadays, because when I was a kid, we just have, of course, television, and we were watching television, and our parents, they were controlling very much that what we were watching. But of course, now it's often, I think, that the families, they don't know really about the online world and about social media and what kind of connections the kids are having. But it would be interesting also from my side to hear from you that what kind of online services you are using, for example, what kind of social media platforms, and do you have the problem that you feel also yourself that you are using too much time online, or have you seen that kind of content, what you see that it's not very, you are not very comfortable with the content? What kind of experiences you have in social media or in online world?
Gabriele, do you want to
Of course.
take this one?
Personally, I feel like I'm really lucky, and I want to thank my algorithm, because it's been proposing me quite some interesting stuff about mathematics and AI. And I was really young when I first used YouTube. YouTube was my first social media. I think I was 7 probably. And to me, I wouldn't be what I am, honestly, without YouTube, because I learned a lot. Yeah, I would say it's my main social media. I always watched videos in other languages, and now I speak 5. But it's true that sometimes I should do homework, and maybe the homework doesn't interest me, and so probably I want to watch some video, which I might learn from, but maybe the priority should be doing the homework. But I think generally has had a positive impact on my life.
Yeah, if I can also jump in, I feel like I'm a first-year university student right now, and the reason why I followed the career path I did was because I came across a video about quantum physics on YouTube, and I got so interested in it, and I decided, yeah, it's very boring, but I like it. And I mean, I learned how to crochet as well. So I feel like a lot of and how to play the ukulele with videos. So I feel like we can contact with different realities and hobbies we couldn't if we did not have the internet. But I also, to answer the second part of your question, I feel there are some real risks. That is true as well. We often come across content that we did not want to see, especially in social media with very random algorithms. And I feel like what is important in those cases is that we know how to properly report those videos, if we feel like it's something that we are uncomfortable seeing. And I feel like with the right amount of digital literacy and education, we can all get to a state where when we come across something that is not age appropriate, if there are not systems already blocking it from getting to us, we can ourselves take our part in this combating this kinds of information we do not want to see. Yeah, that's my take. Do you want to?
So my journey of social media is, well, I got my first phone very early, like at 8. But I think I created my first social media, which was Discord, at like 11 years old. And the main reason why I created was because I wanted to find the community. Because in real life, I still until this day don't know any person that like shares the same interests as me. So, and when I went on the social media, I like instantly found a few communities. So I think that's, yeah, that was one of the main reasons why I was on social media. And so yeah, speaking about problems and challenges, this one, well, it's kind of a specific one, maybe, yeah, regarding the communities. There's a thing called gatekeeping, where basically people tell that you don't actually deserve to be in this community because like you don't like the game or the music and stuff like that. Well, yeah, obviously gatekeeping is usually shamed upon, but well, still we can't avoid it. And yeah, but still, like, yeah, toxic people in general, I've encountered also cyberbullying. And I'd agree with Marta that sometimes reporting can be very difficult.
Yeah, but it seems that many of you, you mostly have positive experiences of online world, and that is of course a very good thing. But in the same time, we also see that there's many users who have the feeling that they can't really control how much they are, for example, spending time online, because many of the services, they have become more and more addictive also time, and they are sending different notifications to you also during the night, and they are trying to keep the people in hook in the way. So that is something that we are now focusing also in our investigations, because we see that this is not good for people's well-being. And also online services, very large online platforms, they have also the obligation to assess and mitigate the risks for people's well-being. And of course, it's not very healthy if you are all the time online. And like you said, it's part of our guidelines of protection of minors that the users, they should have very easy ways also to notify and flag the content. And it should be easy also to choose the content, what you want to see. And it's part of the safety by design idea, what we have in our guidelines for online services. But it's also good to hear, I think, that you have very also positive experiences, and you have learned a lot, and you have got also new social contacts via online services. And of course, this is one of the best part of the digitalization. But what about the parents? Do your parents have any clue what kind of services you are using, or then what kind of contacts you have online? What do you think?
Okay, I can start. Maybe right now I don't think so. When I was younger, yes. But no, not really. But but I mean, I don't think it's. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I wouldn't want my mother and father to know everything I do online and offline. I mean, I still need some level of privacy, no? Marta, you yesterday, you told me a story, and it really felt, it really resonated, and like, it was really interesting. Do you want to share it?
I mean, I tell a lot of stories, so I don't know which one you're referring to.
The Brazilian guy?
Yeah, so I think there's a very thin line between what is protecting someone and what is like controlling them and taking away their privacy. And I think that is where all this age verification, protecting minors gets tricky. If it were something easy, it would have already been done. That's why I feel like this problem is so complex with protecting minors online. We can't really solve it with just one law. We need to be constantly reaching to continue to improve this, which I think can really be seen in the fact that I was just telling Gabriele yesterday that I've heard of a story where there was a boy, I think it was a Brazilian boy, who unfortunately committed suicide because He was part of the LGBTQ community, and he did not had come out to his parents yet, and they had parental control on his phone, and they found out, and I don't think the family was very receptive and open to their child's sexuality. So I feel like it's very hard, because we sometimes will love people so much, we want to protect them at all costs, but we don't really see where our responsibility ends and theirs begins. So I really feel like this is ultimately a huge balance between what is our role as citizens, even young citizens on the internet, what is the government's role, and what is the caregiver's role. And that's why I feel like parents should be involved. At least I feel like when we talk to digital involvement of parents in their kids' lives, it's just like any other thing. I feel like a good parent is an involved parent, and that also comes to being online. It's not just this present world that we live in. We live a huge part of our lives online. So I feel it shouldn't stop in the physical world. We need to be involved in trying to always do our best when it comes also to the online environments. That's my take.
Yeah, so about the first part of the question, do my parents know what I'm using? They know the platforms that I use, which is like not a lot. Like, for example, the reason that I use Reddit is because of my mom, because she uses Reddit. So, but what they actually do, like maybe not really. They definitely don't know all of my friends. They know some because I tell stories. But yeah. And about the thing of parents being involved in the children's digital life, well, I think yeah they should be, but not too much. For example, all those parenting tools, they can be a bit controlling, and I have had a friend who basically had everything like their parents just blocked everything on their phone, and they said that it broke their trust with their parents, because if the parents blocks everything on a child's phone, then that means that the parent doesn't trust the child. So why should the child trust the parent as well? And basically, what happened with that same friend was he saved up and bought a new phone, and his parents didn't know. And within 2 weeks of that, he got groomed. So yeah, I think. So yeah, blocking everything definitely isn't the solution, but being involved, maybe talking about that, maybe, and making your child know that they can come to you if they want to talk about something. I think that's very important.
Yeah, because this is also something that we often face when we are now discussing about it, that who should take care of the safety and privacy and security of children online, that often it should be, everybody is seeing that it should be someone else often, that often social media platforms, they see that it should be parents who are taking care. And then also, of course, many of the parents see that it's social media platforms, or then it should be app stores, or it's always someone else. And I think it's very important that it's everybody's responsibility. So, of course, the online platforms who are providing the services, they have to meet the obligations what we have in our legislation. They have to take the responsibility. But it's also important, of course, in the same time, also to invest in skills and digital skills, and also help the parents also to understand the online world, that they can also support and empower also their kids online. So everybody has to do their part here, I see. And that's why that kind of events are very important, because I see that there's also many parents and also many organizations who are working on this field.
So do you feel like the best way for us to protect children is to empower and educate them and give them knowledge to face?
I think it's very important, and also, of course, that the parents also, that they are aware of the online worlds and developments there. But main responsibility, of course, is on online platforms, because they are doing very big business. And especially during the last years, we have seen how their business model has been developing. And many of the services, they are pushing that kind of content, which is maybe very addictive, but it's not very good for your mental health, for example, often. And now AI is playing more and more important part in the recommender system also, and it also means that the business model is now developing very fast, and we have to make sure that these online services are not harming our children or our mental health. So that is very, very important for us, and we are working on that. So I see that the main responsibility, of course, is in online platforms, because they are doing big business with them, and they have to assess and mitigate the risks for our societies.
All right, thank you. So yeah, I absolutely think education is fundamental, both for young people and their parents. But I recently was thinking about how, when we're born, we first start with picture books, then we go to chapter books, then we go to novels. That's the same for toys. We start with very basic toys and then more advanced toys. And if you think about it, offline, everything kind of naturally evolves with us. So I was wondering, what if the platforms could do the same? What if instead of waiting for a certain age, could be 13, could be 16, what if the platforms could have a growth-based design? Because to me, it feels like we probably should pretend better algorithms, better recommender systems. And I'm also wondering, is the EU asking for transparency or some sort of information related to recommender systems? And is it influencing, regulating, and recommender systems?
Yes, it's a key part of our rules, the transparency of these systems, that people could also understand why certain content is recommended for them, and users should have also the possibility also to change the system. But we know that many of the online services, they are not really meeting these obligations, so they are not transparent enough, and we are all the time also pushing them towards that, because it's very important that you understand how the service is operating, and you have to have also right as a user also to have impact of that what kind of content is shown. But I think you are very right on that we should have age-appropriate content. And I also see that in many member states now, different health organizations, they have also published now their own recommendations about it, that what kind of internet content is age-appropriate. I just recently saw some of these publications from different member states, and there was very clearly, for example, that when you are, for example, to 0 to 2 years old, then you could look maybe photos with your parents online. So it's like age-appropriate content for very small kids. And then after that, maybe you can watch some children's program, very short time. And there was also recommendations about the screen time. So I think that kind of education is also needed to understand that what is age-appropriate content. And also those online service providers, they should take account that.
Yeah, I was wondering, like we were talking about also the companies, the social media platforms' roles in protecting minors. And I was wondering, when it comes to the DSA, the Digital Services Act, and also the AI Act, do you feel like in the future this could be something to continue investing in? This could be the way to protect minors online, would be to continue regulating, to continue improving and extending these kinds of acts and pacts?
Yeah, I think that it's very important that we have rules in place, because these online services, they are so important part of our social life and our society and also our economy, that they can't operate only under their own terms and conditions. So we have to also, as a democratic area, we have to set also our own rules, that what we are expecting, that what is legal and what is acceptable in our society. So I see that this is very important, and especially when you mentioned AI, we also see that more and more people are, of course, also using that kind of general purpose AI and asking different questions, and they are in contact with the chatbots. And there is also, we have seen some risks also realized in some countries on that. So there we have to also make sure that security and safety and transparency of these systems is ensured.
We haven't got much time left, but there was another topic we would like to talk about. It's age verification. So maybe I can start with my question. And I was wondering about responsibility. Who should take the responsibility, like primarily? Should it be tech companies, families, individuals, government for age verification?
There is a lot of discussion now in our different member states about it, that we should put higher age restrictions to online services. Personally, I think that this 13 years, what the most online platforms are having in their terms and conditions, it's based to our privacy rules, to our GDPR, and I think it's quite good, 13 years. I saw that many of you have opened your accounts earlier. But now we are focusing on that with online services, that how they are really checking the age, because we know that often you can just tick the box and it's not checked. So there should be better technologies also to check the age of user, but we have also risk-based approach here, that those services which are clearly adult services, when there is services who are maybe selling alcohol or cigarettes, or there's adult content, or there's gambling, those have to check really the age. And there has to be that kind of a strong tool that you are providing your age. And there we have also challenges with many services that they are not checking that. So because it's illegal to provide that kind of services for kids. So this is a very like important priority for us now, to check that those services which are not mentioned to be available for the kids, that those services are really looking the age and really using a strong tool for that. But then these 13 to 18 years old, a little bit like lighter technologies can be used nowadays. But interesting, of course, to hear from your perspective also, that how you see this discussion about this age restrictions. And of course, main reason for this discussion is really that the online services, they haven't taken the responsibility that they are taking care that services are safe and secure for the minors.
You wanna?
Oh, sure. So, well, my take on this age restriction topic is, we should have an age restriction, but many websites don't have, because it is very, well, first of all, it is difficult to implement, and second, because the most popular method I've seen right now, like floating around, is like to provide your ID, but that, first of all, it's like violates privacy on so many different levels, and second of all, like, what about hackers and leakers? Like they would definitely most certainly target those websites. And it might be possible to leak those documents, and who knows what could people do with those documents. So and other ways are also the first problem is like the actual implementation, and and there are many problems that follow that, like right violations. Many people consider them like surveillance tools to track you and stuff like that. So I think there are problems that come with this, but for you said, for like gambling sites, adult sites, this should definitely be somehow implemented.
I believe we're running out of time. Unfortunately for us, I can say that we could be here sitting talking for many hours more, because this is something that really calls to our lives, our personal lives. And our the way we daily face these challenges that sometimes shouldn't be challenging us. So what it's left to say is thank you, Madam Vice President and fellow Youth Advisory Group members, for this thoughtful and insightful discussion. I believe we have explored many dimensions of online safety, parents' involvement, the EU's role, the companies, and I feel like what has been clear throughout this whole discussion is that a policy is better when it's made with youth and not just for youth. So we hope this dialogue continues until we can reach a solution, right? So at this time, we'll transition to our next panel. So we'll kindly ask you to get off stage.